Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to check out Ratchet Clank Rift Apart. Hey guys, welcome to the channel. So I just finished Ratchet Clank Rift Apart, and I just have to say this was an amazing game. Truly, like it just blows my mind how good this game was. I'm thinking about all the games that I've played up until this point this year, and I can only think of 2 games so far that literally just blow all the other games out of the water. Is this one, Ratchet Clank Rift Apart, and Returnal. Like, those are the only games that, for one, have really felt next gen, and also that have been just blowing my mind out of the water. It's just, this game was so good. Now, I've only played the 2016 Ratchet Clank. And then I think, like I've mentioned him before, I've played there's like a PlayStation 2 one that I played as well, but I haven't played all of them. But I have played those 2, and wow, this game was fantastic. Definitely really showed off a lot of those features that that PlayStation has been bragging about, for such a long time. And this game really shows off a lot of those things that they're showing off. So yeah, like all my other reviews, guys, we're gonna go through the pros and cons of this, and we'll go through the cons first, because the list of the cons for Ratchet Clank Rift Apart is literally like it's tiny. Like, I really couldn't find. I had to really look for these things to really give it a cons list, if anything. So without further ado, let's just jump right into it. So some of the times, these are the list of the cons. Sometimes you would get randomly stuck on things, and you would be like stuck in like a weird like fall animation. And that didn't happen all the time, but I noticed that there's a lot of times where you get close to ledges, or even like on a box or something like that, and you just like get stuck in a fall animation. And there's a few times that I got stuck in like random things, but after being stuck for so long and not being able to get out, the game kind of like makes you jump out of the little spot. So that was one thing that I found. And then there was a few times, this only happened literally like maybe 5 times, that I just randomly died. For instance, the most recent one is that I was going really fast. You get like these boots that you can basically like almost like Iron Man type boots, where you can fly across the ground but you like glide. Anyways, I was going really fast, and I jumped to go land on my ship, and right as I hit my ship, I just immediately died. So that one was kind of random. There's a few times where I just randomly died, but like I said, it didn't happen very often. And then the last thing that like I said, it took me a long time to like actually think of negative things to say about this, but I came up with 3. And then the third one was there's invisible walls. Like, there's a lot of times where there's an area that you could get to, that you got to previously in the game. Like, I want to say the planet's called Savali, and there's this part where you can go to, but then later in the game you go back to this planet, and that area, you could still get there, but like I tried jumping there, and there was like an invisible wall that just wouldn't let me go to that certain part of the map. And there's a few other things, like the planet that the Fixer's on. There's a few like ledges and stuff that look like you could totally jump up and kind of explore up there, but you can't. They made it look like you can explore like all these little crevices and caves, but you can't. So there's a lot of invisible walls. So yeah, and that's all the negative things. It took me forever just to make that. Going on to the positive, I got lots to say about Rift Apart. So much good stuff. So first off, like I said earlier, it's the first game, or I guess the second game, but I feel like this does a little bit better, of truly feeling next gen, with graphics, with gameplay, with loading times, with the way that they interact with the DualSense controller. Returnal does this, definitely does it a lot, but I feel like Ratchet Clank just did it a little bit better and did it a little bit more frequently. Like, all the weapons, literally almost every single weapon has a half pull, where it does one thing and you pull it all the way and it does a totally different attack. Yeah, so like I said, truly feels next gen. The story was really good. I really liked it. They really did a good job of balancing Ratchet and the new character Rivet. so it's not like you're playing as one more than the other. They did a really good job of kind of splitting those up. And Rivet's a really cool, compelling character. I actually really liked her. I mean, I didn't really have an opinion or anything beforehand. I was just like, oh, cool, another Lombax. We haven't really seen one of those before. And she's like the alternate version of him, and they did a really good job. She has a kind of a cool backstory where she loses her arm, and it's really cool how you find out who lost the arm to who and kind of thing like that. So Rivet's really cool. Like I said, next gen story is really good. Basically, it's like kind of like multiverse of madness, where like the multiverses are crashing in on each other because Dr. Nefarious got the what's it called, the Dimensionator, and he's breaking realities, and that's what's causing all this chaos. Because then there's two Dr. Nefariouses, and they team together, and they're basically destroying not just the world, but both multiverses. And yeah, the story just was really good, really fire. Weapons is anybody that's played any Ratchet & Clank game, they have tons of weapon variety, and this one is no different. So many good weapons. They bring back a lot of classic weapons, a lot of game weapons from the 2016 as well. And then just like all the other ones, you can level them up to a certain point, and then now their abilities are a little bit different, but it's the same gun or more powerful, so that was really cool. My favorite weapons was definitely the Rhino, which you don't get till the very end-ish when you collect all the infobots. And then I want to say it was called like the Black Hole gun or something like that. It looked like a huge like machine gun, railgun type thing, and it shot like purple bullets. It was a lot of fun. I loved both of those weapons a ton. Next part is that the game is beautiful. Like literally everywhere you go, the detail, the amount of detail they put into the level design, just everything looked really good. Even like when you look at like Ratchet and Rivet, like just the fur on their body is super detailed. They put a lot of time and a lot of effort into this game, and it just looked beautiful. That's all I have to say. It was just a incredibly beautiful game. I did play this at 60 frame with ray tracing, and so that was really cool. I feel like they gave you this armor that was all like chrome-like, just to kind of show off how good their ray tracing was. Because I put it on, and you can literally see reflections from other people talking to you, like on your helmet, on your chest piece, your shoulder piece. So it was really cool. Like I said, beautiful game. Just like all the other Ratchet & Clank games, they have a ton of areas, ton of worlds to go to that are all vastly different in their own ways. Do have a lot of similar type enemies, but enough that like every time you go to a new place, it's a totally different experience. My favorite was probably the world that's like half destroyed. It's like the pirate hideout. That one was probably my favorite world, and I love the pirate armor as well. Which kind of segues into the next part. I really like that they have a ton of customization options. You can not only customize your ratchet or your hammer, you can make it look different colors and whatnot. You can even swap out your ratchet and your hammer for totally different weapons. Like once I found this out, I was rocking like a goon sword and a pirate sword, and you could even have a swordfish, a broom, and they even threw like I feel like it was a little Easter egg where it showed a key, and it looked like a key from what's the game? Kingdom Hearts. Lots of customization options, and then especially with armor, it comes in 3 pieces. You got a helmet, chest piece, and then leg piece, and you can mix match them any way you want. I mean, I didn't really too much. I like the way that they looked kind of as a set. But there's like 9 or 10 sets of armors that you can mix and match, and they're all pretty cool in their own ways. So I really like that. Lots of customization options. Kind of going with the gameplay, like I was talking earlier, they introduced this new mechanic called the rifts, which really helps in combat. It's like a big yellow orb, and you can basically like jump around the map. Especially with combat, made combat a lot more fluid, a lot more fun. Doing a bunch of crazy stuff, but other than that, like the combat is virtually the same as it has been in like 2016, which is not bad at all. It is perfect the way that it is, and I found that in this game I didn't use my ratchet, or I guess I was using a pirate sword. I didn't use my melee weapon nearly as much as I did in like the 2016 version. I felt like there's just so much more weapon variety and much more enemies and much more like ammo that I definitely used my weapons, like my guns, a lot more than any melee weapon. So I'm kind of going back and forth here. I should have organized my notes a little better, but I wrote, it looks like a Pixar movie. Like, I'm not even joking. This game looked, kind of going with graphics, it looked so good that like there's a lot of times that it just looks like we're playing a freaking Pixar movie. Like, it is literally on par with some of those new Pixar movies like Soul and Luca, a few other ones. Like, the graphics just look that good, but you're actually playing it. You're not just watching it, you're playing it. Another thing, next gen, there's practically no load times. I can't think of a time that it really loaded like at all, other than like when you first boot up the game. Other than that, like everything else is pretty instant. So another thing that I really liked is all the puzzles. There's like the Rift tethers, where it's like little pocket dimensions, and you can do like a little puzzle to try to get either, I want to say most of the time it was gear, but sometimes there were gold bolts. There was those, and then there was the new, they're called Glitch. It's like a little spider, and she's like a little program, and there are certain like hubs that you had to like get rid of a virus from, and so you'd plug her in, and you'd play as like this little spider bot deleting the virus, and it was kind of like a little puzzle, and those were really fun. I actually really like those. That's a new mechanic, new thing that they threw in the game, and I really enjoyed those. And then also the Clank. Like, there's these parts where you go into these different like multiverse type things, and you jump in and you're trying to unlock these puzzles to kind of get rid of that pocket dimension that's right there. And so all of those puzzles were all really fun. Nothing was particularly hard, but towards the end, some of the Clank ones did take me a little bit longer than I like to admit. And so all those fantastic, and I think I pretty much covered everything. I'm sorry, I feel like I'm like rushing this because I don't want this to be another 20-minute, 30-minute video. But yeah, those are all the things that I really, really loved. Overall, this game is fantastic. It took me about, what did it say? I want to say it took me about 15-ish hours. So it's a little bit on the shorter side, but it is definitely worth the price tag. I know that it's kind of hard because these games are now, a lot of these PlayStation exclusives are becoming $70, and it's kind of hard to, to spend $70, especially if you don't know if you're going to get the product that you want. I'm happy to announce that it is definitely worth it. Like I said, one of the best looking PlayStation games out there. Actually, one of the best looking games to date on any system. Like, I got the Xbox and I've been playing lots of games on it as well. I have literally not played another game that looks as good as RiftApart. There's just not. And like I said, story is fire, beautiful graphics, gameplay is phenomenal, all these things. Like I said, there's a few like hiccups here, but they're just very, very, very minimal in compared to the masterpiece that they gave us. And if I were to give this a review score out of 10, it's a solid 9.5 for me. Like, honestly, I wanted to give this a 10, but I just didn't feel like it was quite a 10. I don't give out 10s like really at all. I literally have like 3 games that I've ever given a 10 to. But it was almost near perfect. Such a great sequel, such a great game. If you guys haven't played Ratchet Clank Rift Apart yet, I highly, highly recommend it if you guys got a PS5. This one and Returnal definitely for me are console sellers, so if you guys are kind of wishy-washy on getting a PS5 and you're able to get one, because I know they're still kind of hard, it's definitely a must. If you got a PlayStation 5 and haven't played this game yet, drop what you're doing, go get this game, freaking play it. It's beautiful, it's great, and I could go on for about this game. Anyways, guys, thank you for tuning in to my review today. If you guys like the video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, as we'll have more videos in the future. Like I said before, I did just get a new Xbox Series S, so I'll be doing a lot more Xbox exclusives in the future, so stay tuned for those. And let me know down in the comments what you guys think. Did you guys enjoy Rift Apart? What was your favorite parts? And let me know what you guys thought. And with that, we're going to end the video, guys. Thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you on the next one.